ESPN Seth Walder has put out his 2025 offseason grades, and my Twitter has been blowing up. My Twitter notifications have been popping. Ladies and gentlemen, people have been saying, please, face of the franchise, react to this. They've been putting out the bat signal, ladies and gentlemen. When the people call, I answer. And when I do answer, and when I do take down ESPN, I do it in my own freaking merch. Boom. Buy a shirt, buy a mug. All right, so here's the deal. Seth Walder graded every single team in the NFL for their offseason, and spoiler alert, he put the Saints at 32, dead last. Now, Seth Walder is one of those hombres who has continuously pushed the salary cap hell narrative and talks about nothing matters with the Saints because salary cap hell, right? Wait till you read this. Wait until you see this, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll go straight down to the Whodats. We'll go straight down to the Saints. Read it. New Orleans Saints. D. All right. Biggest move. Lucking into Derek Carr's retirement. Now, when I first read this, I was already befuddled. But whatever. Lucking into Derek Carr's retirement is kind of wild. Like lucking into anything in the NFL or sports, lucking into this player being a good prospect, lucking into this trade, lucking into this situation. It's like that's just kind of part of the game, right? Move I liked. Drafting quarterback Tyler Shough at 40. So now I'm sitting here like, all right, well, damn, if he liked that, pretty decent offseason, right? Move I dislike. Now this is where we go off the rails. The move that he disliked, trying to pay Carr before he retired. The Saints offseason was odd. It started with the retention of general manager Mickey Loomis and the hiring of coach Kellen Moore. Thumbs up. Then a decision to keep Carr. Let's evaluate that choice in the moment. At the time, Carr had a fully guaranteed $10 million roster bonus and a non-guaranteed $30 million in salary that became guaranteed if he remained on the roster in March. Even if the $10 million was a sunk cost, was Carr worth $30 million to the Saints in 2025? He shouldn't have been. This is a team in a dire cap situation and in need of a rebuild. Saving every penny is what should have mattered. Keeping Carr was a play to pay for mediocrity. So, when I was reading this, I was kind of like, did I miss something? Is Derek Carr still on the team? Is Derek Carr still here? I thought he retired. Plus, the $10 million roster bonus was subject to offsets. So if Carr had been released and signed to another team for, say, $15 million, the New Orleans would have been off the hook, which was a possible scenario. Of course, he ended up retiring because of the shoulder injury. In doing so, he bailed the Saints out of the $30 million they put themselves on the hook for. So the Saints got the result they needed, but through sheer luck. Their process was flawed. In the grade above, I'm judging them by the decision they tried to make. The result was better given the surprise retirement. This is some straight up like George Orwell 1984 thought police type stuff. Like he is hitting the Saints with a failing grade for, quote, the decision that they tried to make. What? We have covered I've covered the Derek Carr thing more than anybody probably in the world. If you want to see probably 10 hours of me explaining why they had to do what they did with the contract, why they had to restructure the contract by a certain date to get cap compliant, Derek Carr was never going to play for the Saints. He was always going to either be traded or there was always going to be something happening. He was going to play for somebody else. It was never happening. Derek Carr was never going to be the starting quarterback of the Saints. Okay? If you want to see all that, go to my YouTube videos and sort, go like 4 or 5 pages back. I put out so many damn videos. I can't even tell you when it was. All right. But this is nuts. Like, we're talking about the offseason where the Saints drafted 9 players. They get a completely new coaching staff on the offensive side of the ball and defensive side of the ball. They have the youngest head coach in the NFL who just won a Super Bowl. Okay, all that's happening. We have Tyler Shough and Spencer Rattler battling it out at quarterback. And Seth Walder just spent 5, his first 5 paragraphs of this on Derek Carr, who's busy trying to get 500 views over on the Homegrown Network. No hate. All right, let's keep going, shall we? With Carr retired, second-round pick Tyler Shough suddenly became an immediate contender to start. Shough joins a room that includes Spencer Rattler and Jake Haener, Lowell, and he gives New Orleans hope for a chance at a long-term quarterback solution. That's what the Saints, who rank last in ESPN's preseason FPI rankings, ought to be spending their resources on. Players who can help them for years to come. Okay, now this one is a bit of a riddle, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like I'm talking to the Sphinx. On one hand, you have Tyler Shough, who gives New Orleans hope for a chance at a long-term quarterback solution. Over here. And then over here, you have, that's what the Saints ought to be spending their resources on. Players who can help them for years to come. They are. They drafted Tyler Shough. They drafted 9 players. They signed Justin Reid. They restructured and extended 25-year-old Chase Young. Instead of policing the decisions that they tried to make, how about we police the decisions they did make? Like drafting 9 players, signing Justin Reid, signing Chase Young, which you can put under the bucket of spending their resources on players who can help them for years to come. Many of their moves did not fit that mold. Okay. The Saints signed edge rusher Chase Young to a $17 million per year deal. Again, we've talked about this at length. That deal is fine. Chase Young is a 25-year-old, 26-year-old edge rusher with upside who just came off a pretty decent year, who obviously the Saints believe is still going to develop and get even better. If that is the case, spending $17 million a year on a guy in the prime of his career in an incredibly competitive edge rusher market, it's not that bad of a contract. It's pretty chill. It's whatever. It is not that insane of a contract. I fear the deal was partially made to avoid a dead cap bill if Young wasn't on the team. I consider myself to be a Young defender. He has posted an above-average 19% pass rush win rate twice in the past 4 seasons. But that's a hearty amount of money for a bad team with no money to pay a decent pass rusher. Eliminate this part. Eliminate the no money part. Eliminate the no money bad team part. Right here, he said the Saints ought to be spending their resources on players who can help them for years to come. Isn't that exactly what Chase Young is? Isn't Chase Young exactly the kind of player who can help them for years to come? Isn't he exactly a decent pass rusher? And we know $17 million a year for a decent pass rusher and a player who can help them for years to come with upside. I mean, it was a former second overall pick who's in the prime of his career. Seems pretty chill. Keep on moving on. Safety Justin Reid is sort of a similar story. Though signing Reid to a $10.5 million per year deal is totally fine in a vacuum. Probably even good. But the Saints aren't in a vacuum. This isn't Hoover, Alabama. I added that part. That's a quadruple entendre, ladies and gentlemen. Hoover, Alabama, known football school. Used to have the TV show. Hoover, also the name of a vacuum. I'm on a different freaking level, okay? But the Saints aren't in a vacuum. Paying tight end Juwan Johnson more than $10 million per year and more than $21 million fully guaranteed feels like too much. This has been okay. Let's keep going. Before draft, well, let's just stop here. This is exactly how the entire article goes. On one hand, Seth is saying all this is sweet, but on the other hand, he's saying, but I'm going to knock them because they're the Saints. Salary cap hell re. If you accept the universal truth that the salary cap is fugazi and that the Saints are not in salary cap hell and that they're fine, just like the Eagles are fine, just like, hey, not spoiler alert, this whole cap manipulation thing, it's kind of the way to do it now. Why do I say that? Because the Eagles just won the Super Bowl. Okay? Can we get over the salary cap hell thing? But on one hand, Seth is saying all this stuff is good. The Carr thing is absolutely a positive. He even says it. He says, where is it? Where's the sheer luck thing? the Saints got the result they needed, but sheer through luck. Okay. So the first thing he says is a positive, but he throws the caveat on it. The second thing, which is Chase Young, a positive, but he throws a caveat on it, right? The positive part, he likes Chase Young. He's a decent pass rusher. He's a player who can help them for years to come. But he caveats it with salary cap hell. Justin Reid, same exact thing, right? Signing Justin Reid to a $10.5 million per year deal is totally fine, but probably even good. So he takes a good offseason move and turns it into a negative because the Saints, quote unquote, aren't in the vacuum because of salary cap hell. We know the story. Before drafting Tyler Shough, the Saints selected tackle Kelvin Banks Jr. at 9. He allows New Orleans to move Trevor Penning inside. And while young tackles are usually below average players, even when they're first rounders, having Banks and Talise Fuaga at tackle gives the Saints a chance to put together a nice line in time, one that could help develop a young quarterback. We can also put this in the bucket of spending their resources on players who can help them for years to come. Now, this is where this whole thing has pissed me off the entire offseason. It already is insane. I mean, he literally listed 4 good things. Carr retired, Chase Young deal, Justin Reid deal, Kelvin Banks. He listed 4 positives and made all 4 negatives. Now, if you want to do that, whatever. It is what it is. Who cares? It's not that big of a deal. The part that pisses me off is that instead of just giving this a C and dropping it in the middle, just dropping it in here with Pittsburgh, who's trading for, who's getting Aaron Rodgers and Jalen Ramsey, whatever the hell they're doing, or Carolina, who's doing whatever the hell they're doing, or the Bengals, who absolutely should have had the worst offseason, who not only will they not pay Trey Hendrickson, but they have stonewalled their own first-round draft pick who still hasn't played and probably won't play for the Bengals. Or the Falcons, who had one of the most ridiculous trades you'll ever see, trading up to get James Pierce Jr., and who also still have Kirk Cousins on the roster. Instead of putting the Saints at C, above them or in that same category or whatever, he had to do what everyone else has taken the bait and done and push the Saints down into their own category of bad. Okay? With the D. Shout out Lily Phillips. All right, so the Saints being 32, D, when no one else got a D. Again, shout out Lily Phillips. That's what pisses me off. Because it's one thing to not like this or whatever, find the negative and the positives. But to be like, oh, no. The Saints are by far the worst offseason. When the 2 teams above them, Atlanta, really since Cincinnati, Dallas is down there too. Cincinnati should be 32. How is Cincinnati up here? How are they a C+? The Trey Hendrickson and Shamar Stewart situation is absolutely shocking, especially when you have Joe Burrow, especially when you go all in basically on Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow and this idea to then not pay Hendrickson and then to try and screw over your own draft pick in Shamar Stewart and holding him hostage. That alone should have Cincinnati last. It is despicable what they've done. They should be an F. I mean, honestly, they should be an F. They really should. And I got a lot of hombres up there in Ohio. Okay, I've been to the Ohio State University. All right, I know a lot of Bengals fans. I see a lot of content from Cincinnati. I bet if you asked a bunch of Bengals fans, they're thinking, how the hell did we get a C+? We're about to riot outside of the stadium. The Shamar Stewart thing is sickening. Okay? That's what pisses me off. It's the same as when I hear the rankings and the people are like, Yeah, these teams are bad, but then the Saints. Oh my God, they should be in the SEC. And then you go look at the rankings like we did in the video earlier this week, and it's like Saints 22nd this, 21st that, 8th this, 4th this, 25th this. And it's like, how the hell are they, how are they putting us to the bottom? What's going on here? Below average? Sure. But absolutely rock bottom? I don't think so. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, it's shocking. It's not shocking, I guess. But surely y'all can see, even if you aren't Saints fans, like even if you're just an NFL fan, surely you can see that this is kind of insane. That this is just positive, 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 spun to be a negative, and then push the Saints all the way down. I mean, I hate to say this, but this is why people don't go to ESPN. This is why people aren't sitting here refreshing the page waiting for these articles to come up. Because you read them, you go through it, and you're like, damn. He wrote 27,000 words on this? For that? For this analysis? It's a tough day, man. It's a tough day at the worldwide leader. Brutal. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I mean, this looks good to me. If you hid this grade and you put topic 1, Derek Carr retires, save the Saints $30 million, and the Saints aren't held hostage to play Derek Carr, they can move forward with the young quarterbacks. Bullet point 2, Chase Young, decent deal for a decent pass rusher and a player who can help them for years to come. Bullet point 3, Justin Reid. Signing Reid to a $10.5 million a year is totally fine in the vacuum, probably even good. And then Kelvin Banks. If you put those bullets and you remove the caveats, you remove the Saints aren't in a vacuum, dead cap, decision they tried to make. This is this is a pretty good offseason. Then you throw in Kellen Moore, you throw in Brandon Staley, you throw in the 9 draft picks. Yeah, I mean, this might be an MA+. God, I'm on another level. Buy a shirt, buy a mug, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you in the next video.